This episode of Irritable Dad Syndrome was recorded November 4th, 2024.
Let's just go for it. Let's take the seatbelts off and just
Thelma and Louise off the cliff.
Right off the thing.
Yeah. Okay.
How can you trust an animal with a head that's that bald and tiny?
I mean, we trust Dad.
That's true.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the best reason ever to look forward to Tuesday. Please say hello to your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 230. Tonight on the show, last week, I teased a story that I didn't tell. We had technical problems, and it cut out a chunk of a story that I didn't get to finish. And then there was something else that I was extremely excited to talk about that I completely glazed over and didn't mention at all. And here's the thing. I'm not going to brag, but I'm like executive producer of this podcast. Every week, I make a rundown, okay? We're going to talk about this, and this, and this. And God knows almost every week we go off the chain and we do not talk about the things that we were supposed to talk about, and it happens. But I teased the story and we didn't do it, so that makes me a liar, and I'm sorry. So this week I'm going to tell that story. But before we get into all the fun, we were recording this episode on November 4. Tomorrow is Election Day, and you know what? We may not have a world left.
Well,
so this may be our last episode.
see, I was imagining this episode playing on a little speaker in a wasteland with a cockroach fighting a rat for somebody's finger.
For a piece of gum.
Or gum. Yeah. So we don't know what happened. I did vote this past Saturday.
I voted too.
When did you vote?
Last week.
That's right, because you posted pictures and the whole thing.
Yeah, my mom wanted to vote early. She has a separate polling place than we do. We vote like half a mile down the street, and then my mom votes like in the neighborhood where she lives. And this is the first year that my oldest son, Jacob, is voting for president. And mom wanted to be there for it.
Yeah.
When you vote early, you get to go to the Board of Elections, and you can vote there. And boy, did they make a big deal about 3 generations. They thought that was that was pretty cool.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and the woman is like, oh wow. And she, absolutely. And the thing was, Jacob got there. Jacob was doing homework. He got there and got in line. And we were driving from church. And he keeps calling us, are you guys almost here? Guys, are you almost... Guys, seriously, are you almost here? Because he was about at the front.
Yeah.
Not at the front of the line. He was about to get from the sidewalk into the building. And I said, if you get up there, just keep letting people in front of you.
Yeah.
And we got there, and I was afraid people were going to get pissed because there's 4 of us. Granted, only 3 of us are voting. Cameron can't vote yet. I asked all the people around us, I said, my son is holding places for us. Are you okay if we get in line with him? Nobody cared at all. Didn't get a cross eye, didn't get a stink, nothing. Nobody cared. And so Libby, Mom, and Cameron and I waited with Jacob, and we went and we voted.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to say, and this isn't what... There's really no point in saying anything political now because it's already happened by the time this episode is released. You're not allowed to wear campaign stuff in line.
Yeah.
You're just not. You can't wear...
I didn't even wear my Turd Ferguson shirt because I didn't
wear my... Yeah, I didn't wear my Vote for Pedro t-shirt.
What did you wear?
I just had on whatever I was wearing to church, something nice, a nice shirt. I can't remember. Yeah. But there was campaign stuff from each client in the line. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it's like, is this where you're going to draw the line and get pissy with people? Because it's like, you can... It's like, what's it matter?
I didn't see anyone...
You're not supposed to do it, so don't do it.
I didn't see anyone wearing campaign stuff. I did see, me and Bess both saw people where it was very clear who they were voting for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just tell.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to make a public service announcement to the remnants of civilization that are still here.
People are scavenging our land.
It is now, by the time this episode drops, it is mid-November. Right?
Right.
About or mid to the end of November.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this is an equal opportunity.
This will drop November 12th.
Okay. So you've had a week.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Mm-hmm. Depending on which side you're in, You can start to take the flags off of your truck.
Mm-hmm.
You can start to steam the bumper stickers off the back of your Subaru. You can start to
Subaru.
You could start to, it's kind of like leaving your, and I'm not one to talk. We leave our Christmas decorations up until the following October. But nothing annoys people more than when you've got the campaign sticker from the thing that just ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this on the radio today. Do you know that this campaign's been going on for 2 years?
Oh, yeah.
The actual campaign.
Yeah.
The first talks of, hey, vote for me started 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's been
2
going on
years
a long time.
Part of the reason we voted early is because we wanted to be done. Like Bess said, you know me. We've talked about this. I wanted to be in the trenches.
You wanted to be right
on
there,
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I like to do that.
You're like the guy who does shopping on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I wanted to go in there with my jammies.
Mm-hmm.
I have American flag jammies and a U2 shirt. I want people to have no idea who this crazy bastard is voting for. But she convinced me, hey, let's do it on Saturday. And now that, from what we're seeing, Tuesday is going to be a madhouse, I'm kind of glad that it's done.
Right, I am too.
And we've got it all taken care of. But please, 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 look in your driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Just take one flag down a day. I saw a truck in the parking lot when we voted that had 3 flags on the back, 2 on the side, the profile of a candidate like they were sitting in the back seat, which, by the way, that's creepy.
It is, yeah.
And about 5 bumper stickers on there. And I'm like, you don't have to do it all at once because that's a lot of steaming to do on those bumper stickers to get them off. Just do one a day. Take a flag down a day. I'll see the sticker of the person that I voted for a year after the election. And I'm like, just come on.
Yeah.
What, really?
Yeah.
At that point, what are you saying?
Yeah.
I did that, okay.
Okay.
That's right.
Somebody else who died today, Quincy Jones. Music. Icon doesn't even describe Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones, I mean, my God, I can't remember how many Grammy Awards he had. He produced the Thriller album. He produced Off the Wall.
Yeah.
He wrote and produced the theme song from Sanford & Son. Possibly the greatest.
Yeah, that is...
That in itself puts you...
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just... Yeah. God love him. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
So last week, my tease was I asked a question that's never been asked before and probably will never be asked again by me. And so here's the story.
Okay.
Libby and I went over to my mom's house. We were doing some yard work for her. She had some weeds, and a lot of her plants and stuff needed to be cut back before winter. And we were doing all that. We did it on two different times because we left work, and then we went over after we ate. We went over to mom's house, and of course, this time of year it gets dark at 5:09.
Yeah, I do not like this time.
I can't stand this time of year. Anyway, so we're out there. We're doing all this yard work for Mom. We got 2 gigantic trash cans full of weeds. And so in the back of my car, I had a Maddox and a rake and a couple other things for pulling weeds and for cleaning up yards and stuff. So we did it that one day. I left all the stuff in the car. We went back 2 or 3 days later and got the rest of it. And I asked Libby, I said, should I just leave this in the car? Yes, leave it in the car because we're probably going to be going back in a few more days. So I've got a hoe, a Maddox, and a rake and a couple other things, some weed pullers and some branch clippers, all this in the back of my car. So Cameron's got a school dance.
Okay.
Cameron invited his friend Annabelle to go to the school dance with him. So Annabelle's parents said, can you guys come pick him up? Absolutely. We will come. Of course, we'll pick him up. He lives with us. We will pick her up as well.
Yeah.
So we're driving over to pick up Annabelle, and I realize I've got all these yard tools in the back of my car, which isn't a problem. I could just throw it in the hatchback, but the rake is so freaking long.
That's what she said.
It extends
Okay.
halfway into the back
You
seat.
became the nightmare parent at this point.
So like, what am I going to do? We're running late. I can't just run this rake back to the house. We get to Annabelle's house. Annabelle comes out in her dress, and her mom comes out, and we're talking, and everything's fine. And she says, "Thank you so much for picking her up. And what time are you bringing her home? And is there anything I need to know?" And I said, "I've got a question for you. Can I leave my rake in your garage?" The look on her face was priceless.
Yeah.
Sure. I said, okay. So I get out.
Yeah.
And granted, Cameron's in a suit, Annabelle's in a dress, and I'm this moron getting a rake out of my car. I'll just go put this in your garage. Good times.
Did you do any trick-or-treating on the Hallows Eve?
This was the first year that we didn't even buy candy.
Wow. Oh, you're one of those
We did-
families.
No, last year I bought a gigantic thing. I had a big bowl of candy.
Yeah.
We had maybe 6 trick-or-treaters.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the night, I'm standing at the end of my driveway. Somebody come get this candy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we live on a street where if you go down our street, you have to turn around and come back and hit the same houses.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's
that's what's that called?
it's like a dead end.
Yeah, it's not worth your time,
yeah.
right? Come on,
Unless you're giving away like cash.
which we're not.
Yeah.
So I didn't even buy. I mean, we bought candy for Chris Michael and for his little girls.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria was riding a unicorn.
Did you make him say trick or treat, or did you just hand it over?
No,
like
we just gave it
handout?
to them. They can do.
You know,
whatever. Yeah.
he okay.
Oh, now don't start on
he
Chris
just
Michael.
mooches off of society.
He doesn't move.
Every time you tell a story about Chris Michael,
He does
it's
not.
another story of him being a communist.
He donates money to this podcast every month.
That's right.
A lot.
He's a wonderful man.
He's a great guy. He's a great
I
guy.
enjoy him immensely. Yes.
But-
you go ahead and keep giving him
But
candy.
Victoria and Natalie was dressed as a little sheep. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
she's so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
And then you could
Yeah.
use like the sheep hook thing to like pull her back in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Charlie dressed up as a dinosaur, one of those inflated, where they run around and look adorable.
Jacob had one of those.
And he went to his friend's neighborhood, to another neighborhood, because, quote, Dad, there's just not that much candy over. I mean,
Right.
He's right.
Yeah. You go where the food is.
You go where it is. Yeah. And then Andrew was going to go play basketball with his friends in the rain, because that's what he does. And then at the last minute, Charlie wanted Bess to go with them trick-or-treating, which left Dad at home alone with the candy to give out. I said alone, but I wasn't alone. I had Booba and marbles. Now,
Lord.
you come over here regularly.
Oh, my God.
You've noticed that most of the time when you're coming over, I'm sitting out on the front step like I've just been kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
To me, like when I started doing that, you were like, Mike, is everything okay? And it's because I don't want I want to walk in with you to prevent Booba from losing her mind. Booba is my older dog.
Dakota is her real name. Booba is her nickname. Mike gives his dog. Now, does Marbles have a nickname?
Booba.
No.
Literally, other Booba.
God.
Booba, Dakota Booba is the OBB, original Booba.
Hey, you know me.
Yeah. Anyway, and so Booba has known Darin for about 5 years.
Yes.
And
I've been here since she was a little kitten.
It still acts like you are coming here for the first time every time, and jumps on you and scars you, and you have nightmares of this dog.
I do have a scar on my leg where she scratched me one time because I think you guys had recently cut her nails.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Booba, if you're listening, I like you. I like Booba. Darin is a fan and
she's
friend.
a sweetheart.
Yes, she is, but she gets so excited, and
she does.
I'm like, she doesn't realize it's just me.
Yeah,
I never bring her anything.
No,
there's no reason whatsoever for any person, dog, thing, anything to be excited when I come around.
You've never reached into your pocket and pulled out a steak and given it to
Never
Booba.
given her bacon. I've never given her a Slim Jim.
So anyway,
I've never given her a belly rub.
So the sound of the doorbell gets her jacked.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm dealing with that.
All
so to make things even worse, we have one of those Ring doorbells, but we don't have it hooked up to the main doorbell, and I'm too lazy to get all that stuff fixed. So it's just there as a camera, and then the real doorbell is underneath it. Right? Well, nobody knows that. So I took the Ring thing off. Well, yeah, they know that. I took the Ring thing off so people would hit the doorbell. Well, they're not. They're just hitting the box where the Ring is. Like, there's not even a button there. They're just jabbing their fingers in it.
Hello.
I'm sitting where their computer is, grinding my camos, looking for kids to come up to the thing. Anyway, we had probably about 6 or 7 kids come up. You know, trick or treat started at 6. At 7:35, it was raining. And Andrew texts, "Can you come pick me up?" Okay, there's nobody here. The bowl of candy is full. It looks like it did when trick or treat started.
Yeah.
So I set it out on the front porch, and I go get Andrew, who's 1 mile away. I come back. The total time I was gone was maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Bowl's gone.
Yeah.
Empty.
Oh, they left the bowl.
They left the bowl. There's
empty.
like a one fun pack of M&Ms floating in the water that had collected from the rain.
There's more water than treats in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
good times. Good times. I did have a couple of people come up, and I thought they were parents. They were as big or bigger than me. And I literally looked down for like a little kid, and they were like, "Trick or treat." Like, Jesus.
They're smoking.
Yeah. And so I gave them.
You got any of the plain M&Ms? I like those.
Yeah, gave them the candy, and then they went on their way. Which I have no problem with that. I would go around if people were giving out Peeps.
Oh, why don't they give out Halloween Peeps? Or do they? You would know.
I was going to, because we have a stash of them. I broke into the stash. Like, if you remember, back in Easter, after Easter was gone, they were selling those Peep packs for $0.25 each.
Right.
And I bought about... I bought
like 14 boxes,
I was like a peep prepper.
Yeah.
And I had them all
White
stacked
in your bunker.
Yeah. And the novelty of that wore off after a couple of days, and I still have crates of Peeps in there. And they've just been sitting there getting older and older. And then this weekend I looked at them, I was like, oh, these expire in December. Wonder what was so big about these Peeps that I bit one, stood in that kitchen and ate a full box of them. And then just regular Peeps, just good old American regular Peeps. And then I cracked open the watermelon.
Oh,
ate half of those before I got self-control.
I like the Rip Roaring Raspberry.
Or the strawberry.
Yeah.
The strawberry.
Oh, yeah. I
got
those.
one packet of those.
I like the strawberries. You know what I noticed, and this was 2 weeks ago, which I think was early, but we ran out of milk, so I went down to the UDF, which is a gas station right around the corner from my house.
United Dairy
Farmers, exactly. And they already had the Little Debbie Christmas tree snacks. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I bought one. Yeah.
The icing on those.
I've bought more than one.
Yeah. Is that ice? Is that wax? It's like wax, but it's
made of so good. I love those. My boys love them. Libby doesn't like them at all. So when we buy them, last year I bought 3 boxes. I gave one to Jacob, one to Cameron, because there's 5 in a pack.
Yeah.
How you gonna split 5?
Yeah.
You're not.
No.
Okay, you're just not. When I would buy them and we would split them with
somebody
the kids,
gets 2 and the other 3 people can go.
3 and you guys get 1, and they didn't care for that.
No.
I'm like, I'm paying for them.
Yeah.
So unless you can think of a better solution, now I buy them each their own box.
Yeah.
And they can eat them as they want, and then everybody's happy.
So they have like an after film when you eat them, like the icing, or whatever that is, the wax that they're in. It just you can tell as you're eating it. I'm thinking, this is what they're going to find in my body when they dig me up thousands of years from now.
Maybe.
Yeah. But they're used to. So when I was a kid, they had these Christmas tree ice cream things on a stick.
On a stick?
On a stick.
On a stick.
A stick. They were green. And they were like little Christmas tree ice cream things with mint ice cream. Yeah. And they had little like ornament balls made out of lead paint or something on the outside. My mom would buy those, and I mean, this is the 80s. They used to they crammed.
Well, then they definitely were made of lead paint.
Yeah, they had like 8 or 9 of them in there.
Asbestos and
and I would get 3. I would eat one on the way from the fridge back to my room, enjoy one, and then cram the last one in my mouth before it melted. Lay
what
there.
Are you eating?
And I was too young to hate myself for doing that. I was just like, I was in awe of my ability to plan that ahead that far.
Yeah.
And then I would go get two more, and I'd be through the pack in about 20 minutes. It's amazing.
I've never been anything but completely honest with you and with the fans of this podcast, but I have eaten Little Debbie snack cakes in the laundry room with the door closed so that the kids couldn't see me doing it. Whatever, it is what it is. This is where we are. And I'm not opposed to doing it again. I've told, like, Courtney Litton, Jorgen, as you call her.
Yeah.
Jorgen. She and her husband heard that I hide the Pop-Tarts. They also hide Pop-Tarts. I'm like, yes. Well, how are you supposed to eat them if your kid keeps getting into them?
Yeah.
Because I think it's when they're like, well, I'm supposed to have one.
Yeah.
No, I have a career.
Yeah.
Right? The money that I make, me, Darin, me make money, me make it, is what bought those Pop-Tarts. They're not paying for nothing.
That's dangerously close to how I rationalize my Peep buying.
Yeah.
Because Bess saw, when I brought them in, I brought in 3 bags of Peeps. And Bess was like, she said, and I quote, "Really?" And I said,
yeah,
I bought, this is my money that we bought the Peeps with. Now, literally the money for these Peeps came from my check. Now, yes, the cupboard they're going into, we share equally. We've paid equally to
Have you
that.
pulled the your money is what allows her to live in this lap of luxury? Have you tried that one? Because that doesn't fly in my house. Because my wife makes more money than I do.
Yes.
By a lot. Woo. Does she ever?
Yeah, we use the model literally. I hear about these couples that keep like separate accounts and all. I don't see how you do that.
No.
It just, you pour everything into one pot.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandparents always had separate checking accounts up until they died.
Yeah.
Nana said, Bill's money is our money. My money's my money.
We interrupt this program for a special announcement. Congratulations to Donnie Merritt, Irritable Dad Syndrome's Listener of the Week. This has been a special announcement.
This weekend, something on the algorithm pointed me to the Muppets.
Right.
And I ended up watching a bunch of the Swedish Chef videos. I had to post one of them. Did you see the one I posted on Facebook?
No, I love the Swedish Chef.
It's him it's in one of the Muppet movies. He's doing a rap.
Yeah. I think that was that.
Down.
And Kermit goes, hey, everybody, way to get funky, yeah.
So we watched that me and Charlie watched that about 15 times. And then we went to Kroger, and I was doing the Swedish Chef all through Kroger.
Nice.
Here you get the puppety corn. There's the puppety corn. You get the butter in the buttery, puppety corn. With the shrimpins and the puppety corns.
I didn't tell you, but when I saw Sister Hazel, I got there super early before the show started, and there was like a smattering of people just laying. It was artificial turf.
Yeah.
We're just laying on the thing waiting for the show to start.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't going to be a sold-out show at all, because there was maybe 20-some people. And I found my spot right in the center, about 10 people back to where
in the crawl.
Yeah, I was right in the sweet spot, and this dude with his wife or girlfriend was going Bert, 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 Berkey, Bert, 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 Berkey, Bert, 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 and then he says, "Do you want me to do it some more?" And she's like, "Whatever." Bert, 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 Berkey, Bert, 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 and I'm like, of all the people that I choose to stand next to, it's the Berkey, Bert guy.
I'm going to tell you this in good humor, but I want you to remember this, and I'm going to tell Bess the same thing. If I'm ever like on a bridge ready to jump off, or on the side of a building, or I'm in a really bad spot, if you show me anything from the Muppets, I'm good. I'm good. If I'm up there getting ready to jump off of a skyscraper in Cincinnati, off of one of the buildings, and you have Statler and Waldorf pop their heads out a couple of windows next down, go, "Are you going to jump? You're just going to stand there." I would crack. I would laugh so hard.
Yeah.
Or the eagle.
Yeah.
Just you're wasting
morons.
Look at all these government resources you're wasting here. It's popcorn. And the shrimpins. It was him making popcorn shrimp.
Nice.
And he had the shrimpins and the puppety corn.
Yeah. There's you can watch it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Muppet Family Christmas.
Okay.
They've got the whole Christmas special on YouTube.
Is it the Scrooge where they...
No. This was like a gazillion times better than that.
Okay.
They go to Fozzie Bear's house to spend Christmas with Fozzie Bear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Fozzie's mom lives there by herself.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hi, honey." And there's plenty of beds and everybody can stay there, right? So it's just them, the main Muppet characters. And then guess who shows up? All the guys from Sesame Street. All of them. Ernie, Bert, Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Grover.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Swedish Chef is trying his damnedest to eat Big Bird. Birdie, Birdie, Bird. Birdie, 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 Bird. Then it gets better. The Fraggles show up.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Wow. This is like the Avengers of Muppet specials.
Yes, they opened up the Muppet verse.
Yeah.
And they all prevail. And it is a great Christmas special.
All right, I have to check that out.
I cannot recommend it highly enough.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties and listeners like you.
Last week, I was talking about going to the UC football game and that we were running late and we were afraid that we were going to miss something with the band because my son's in the band. So we had to park like a mile away from the stadium in this garage near UC Hospital, and then we asked if there was a shuttle, and we got on the shuttle. Mm-hmm. Once we got on the shuttle, we waited and waited and waited, and the woman driving the shuttle said she had to wait for her boss. We didn't know why she was waiting for her boss. Mm-hmm. We didn't know if it was like a union thing, or we had no idea what and why, but we were waiting, and we were getting nervous because we were afraid we were going to miss something, and we contemplated getting off the shuttle and walking. Instead, we waited. This woman's boss shows up, and it turns out she has no idea how to get to the stadium. Her job is to drive a shuttle from this garage to this stadium, and she's never been there before. We are literally pulling out from where the bus is parked, and her boss says, "Take a right here."
Well, okay. Wow. Right now.
Doesn't even know how to leave where we're parked. And I'm not making fun of women drivers. I'm not.
No.
But we were so on edge because we were going to miss seeing Jacob play with the band. Yeah. And she doesn't know how to get where we're going. And Libby and I are like, "Take a right." And then up here at the light at MOK, you take a left. It's like, and I'm glad I finally shared that story with you. That went nowhere. Hey!
So I have, you may need to edit this in prior in the podcast, but I forgot to mention this. So I think this goes for both, whichever candidate you're voting for or voted for. Mm-hmm. I looked up just randomly, I wanted to know some things about Canada. Okay. I'm just looking. Right?
I know Gordon Lightfoot is from Canada.
Rush,
yes,
is from Canada. Canada invented maple syrup. Mm-hmm. They put the leaf on their flag.
The state bird is the beaver. No, wait. I may be wrong.
I think the state beaver gave you the bird, is what you're...
I know Canada doesn't have states. It has provinces.
Provinces, which are better than states because they have more syllables.
Canada and the United States, we share Niagara Falls.
Yeah, Canada
it's like in a divorce settlement. We get Niagara Falls on the weekend.
That's right.
They get it every other week and on holidays.
Canada is America's hat. I don't know who originally said that. There was a comedian said that.
And Mexico is America's pants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was looking up.
hat.
I was looking up some facts about Canada, just in case. Just
you never know.
So we as we are right now in this house, are about 5.5 hours from Bess's hometown, where most of her family lives.
That's in West
The
Virginia.
West Virginia,
Okay, Morgantown.
Yeah. Toronto is about 6 hours from Morgantown.
Okay.
So for the people who live in Morgantown, it doesn't matter whether we live in Canada or here, it's the same distance. So we're just as far from
By
family.
about an hour and a half.
Well, 5.5 hours to 6 hours.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
half an hour. Don't in the
Don't stop by
Don't stop.
Tuner's Biscuit World.
And there's no, a lot of people don't know this, there's no speed limit in Canada because those moose, well,
Right.
anyway.
I've got okay.
So same distance. Hold on. We'll get to moose. We're going to get to moose.
I've got a Canada story. Yeah.
Okay. This is the one that blew my mind. If you go to Canada and you say, I want to live here, you can still get Social Security and your benefits.
Okay.
From the U.S.
Oh, okay.
living in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Canada is generally, now depending on where you live, but generally more affordable than the U.S.
Okay.
when you take into account what your taxes are going to with your health care and all that stuff. And finally, they've got moose.
Yeah.
Now,
we've got some.
we've got deer and we've got geese that on the road.
Uh-huh.
And they start walking and everybody's got to stop and look at them.
And they're Canadian geese, by the way.
Yeah, they send their geese down here. They keep their moose up there.
Oh.
Now, I've read that a moose is I think the second most dangerous land animal in existence. The
Sounds
first
about right. It's the hippo.
is the hippo.
Yeah.
Because
Hippos want to kill you.
hippos they'll come after you.
Yeah.
And they're fast. You don't
Yeah.
think they're fast.
No.
You look at them
Yeah.
and they're like, what the hell's that thing
Fat
going to do?
bastard. What's he going to do?
They
Yeah.
they run like 80 miles an hour
Oh, yeah.
underwater.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now a moose,
Uh-huh.
most people don't know much about a moose other than Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Right.
And then he's one, oh, they're Rocky.
And I
you know,
and I think that that's not an accurate portrayal of the moose.
Yeah, they have more antlers than he does.
I know they don't walk on 2 feet,
No,
and I don't think they're friends with flying squirrels.
exactly.
And also, moose don't talk.
Right.
So,
Moose.
come on.
People don't know this. Moose are about 30 feet high.
They're big.
They're huge.
Yeah.
And the reason they're the second most dangerous animal is a combination of the fact that they're so big, and then 2, people don't realize that they're that big and that they can be dangerous.
Right.
A deer can be dangerous. You piss off a deer, he can hoof you.
Yeah.
But a moose, he may just be backing up. He may just be like backing into a parking spot and just step on you and you're dead.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch out for the moose.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just saying.
Well, I'll be sure and look out for them.
Yeah. So if for whatever reason you're looking to visit Canada for the next 30, 40 years, move your family there. Some nice, interesting facts.
Watch out for moose.
Watch out for moose.
Yeah.
That's really how you gotta,
So many years ago, this is before we had kids, we have a friend named Gail.
Okay.
Gail is from Canada. And
Okay.
she was living in the United States on a work visa. She was working with Libby at the hospital, and she was going to go home to
Canada.
Yeah. She was going to go to Montreal
Yeah.
and to visit her boyfriend.
It's the birthplace of the flapjack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I mean-
yeah. So she asked if
Completely made that up.
she she asked if Libby wanted to tag along, and Libby said sure. And then
Yeah.
Gail's like, well, if Darin's gonna, why doesn't Darin come too? So we all went, the 3 of us, on a Montreal excursion.
Yeah.
So much fun. And we're driving up to Montreal, and on our trip there, we see Niagara Falls next 4 exits. And we're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
We had no idea we were this close to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So we didn't have time to stop on the way there. We said we will stop on the way back.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. We drive up to Montreal, and if you've never been to Montreal,
I've never been
oh
to
my
Canada.
God, Montreal is one of the greatest cities in North America, one of the greatest cities on the planet, period.
Right.
Okay, fantastic. People were great. Architecture. You'll see like 1,000-year-old building right next to a 20-year-old building.
Yeah. Just like Cincinnati.
But half the people speak French.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw Montreal and everything was great, and we did our sightseeing. We're driving back. Libby fell asleep and Gail fell asleep, and I'm driving the car in Canada. Okay,
Yeah, you watch out for those
Canada,
moose.
they got those kilometers.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm driving, and I'm thinking I'm going to assume that kilometer equals a mile, and if I get pulled over, I'm going to play stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Because what's the difference between a kilometer and a mile?
It's
What's
few
the
letters.
Yeah. No. No. How many miles is a kilometer?
I don't know.
Okay. It's a lot more.
It's like 1.3 kilometers is a mile. Is that right?
I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. So
We'll say
I'm
it is.
driving, and I dozed off a little bit, and I swerved the car, and woke up
Yeah.
Gail, and it woke up Libby. Scared the crap out of both of them. And Libby's like, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Oh yeah, we almost hit a moose." And Libby, who has watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with me 100 times, knew.
You got your jacket stuck in
she,
the thing.
she knew that I had fallen asleep and that I was screwing around. Gail, and unless she's listening to the podcast, still to this day tells people about the time we almost hit a moose. I didn't have the heart to tell her.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Overthinkers Incorporated, providing irrational solutions since 1932.
You know, you're always talking about grinding your camos.
Yeah.
You're the only person on this podcast who talks about Vigi games
Yeah.
and the love and playing of the Vigi games.
Yeah.
I have something to announce.
Oh.
My kids love playing Super Smash.
Okay.
They love playing it.
Yeah.
Love. And every time I've played with them, I instantly, within a minute, 2 minutes, get my ass kicked.
It has no rules. It's it's just anarchy.
Yeah.
It's pure video anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times I enjoy watching them, and I really don't feel like, because for me, I need an amateur. I need a way to dip my toe in the water before I play. So I've started playing, and there's only one character that I play on Super Smash, and that's Rob. It's a robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember Rob.
Okay,
the
Rob.
Yeah. Rob.
I love playing Rob.
Yeah.
Okay, because
He
Rob
kind of looks like Short Circuit.
He
a little
does.
Bit. Yeah.
He does. He looks like a combination of Short Circuit,
Johnny number 5,
and a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love Rob because Rob can shoot a fireball all the way across.
Oh.
Okay, so you from great distances you can hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You can either shoot the fireball or a pew, right? But
A laser.
A laser.
Yeah.
But now sometimes your powers, they have to build up before you.
Yeah, you can't just.
No, you can't. You have to wait a little bit. You got to get it worked up before you.
A little foreplay
Before you fire off.
Yeah.
But he's got this punch. You can toggle right or left and push your B.
Oh, this
and
is
he,
advanced.
And he whirlwind. His fists of rage spin, and you can hit somebody like 30, 40 times.
Whoa. Yeah.
And I love it, right? You can just pummel the crap out of somebody.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm playing Rob. It's Libby and me and Cameron. Cameron's the young one, Cameron. Cameron is playing, I can't remember what character he has, but Libby is playing Sora. And the three of us are fighting against each other. Okay? Yeah. Libby and I, we're all three, like I said, we're all three fighting. I took Cameron out once, I think, maybe twice. Libby got him out the other times. Okay. I'm like, holy crap, it's between me and Libby.
Yeah.
And say what you want. Libby's a girl. Libby's good at Super Smash. Okay. I beat Libby, and for the first time ever, I won a game of Super Smash.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I told Jacob, and he's like,
"Hey, what happened?"
What? Like, you guys need to throw a parade. This never happening again. I'm like, holy crap, I won a game of Super Smash.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've never been able to do the Super Smash. Every once in a while, we will, we used to do this all the time. We haven't done it in a while. We take one of our, actually this TV, we take this one out and we put it on the table on our back deck. And we hook up the switch out there, and we have Super Smash out in the wild.
Yeah,
and that's all kinds of fun.
That sounds like fun. Yeah.
But I actually had Rob the robot.
When
I was a kid, I had like the Nintendo Rob, the actual robot.
Really?
Yeah.
That character is that old?
Yeah.
Okay.
1985. He was the original Nintendo when it came out. One of the big sets you could get was with Rob.
I didn't know
And there was
that.
a game called Gyromite. And Rob had these, he has little cameras in his eyes.
Yeah.
And you would set him in front of the TV, and he has these tops and a little top spinner. and he grabs the tops, puts them on the top spinner, gets them spinning, and then puts them on this thing that pushes buttons on the controller.
Yeah.
While the top is spinning, and you have to respin it or it'll fall over. So you have to do this. And you're putting like the blue top over here and the red top over here to open and close blue and red doors, so Professor Gyromite can
Gyromite?
Yeah, well,
is that a real?
The game is Gyromite. I just call him
okay,
that.
Yeah.
He can go through his little maze there, and you can save whatever he's trying to do. It's probably some kind of Manhattan Project weird. The point is that it was a little fun thing that you played with for about 15 to 20 minutes, and you just never touched again.
You're done.
No, yeah. But yeah, I had the original Rob. I think we put him in a yard sale for like $5.
Oh, I would have.
And now I would love to have him. Now he's probably like a collector's thing. But yeah.
But every time, Rob.
Yeah.
Rob. I don't even, what does Rob stand for? It's R period.
Robotic Operating Buddy.
That's dumber than what I'm. That's what. Robotic Operating Buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rob.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Let's see if I. Good Lord, that's a almost 40-year-old memory.
I had no idea Rob was that old. I thought I'm so dumb because you can play Pac-Man, you can play Donkey Kong, you can play all kinds of stupid.
Yeah, Robotic Operating Buddy. Holy crap! That's
nice.
right. Yeah. Yeah, but it was kind of cool because it would like flash, like whatever command you were giving him would flash on the screen. His cameras would see it, and they.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dogs. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I love everything about Whoppers. From the intoxicating aroma to the robust flavor in every bite. Gosh, even holding one in your hand makes you thankful that the good Lord invented hot dogs.
That's right.
Right now, buy a jumbo pack of Whoppers, and they'll throw in a free package of new Whoppers bacon. Whoppers are made with 100% pure beef, with no fillers or preservatives. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll give you your money back. Guaranteed. Whoppers, the hot dog everyone's talking about. Now, back to the show.
I have one that goes nowhere. I'm not going to tell it, but Bess actually went to go get ice cream at Kroger, and then for some reason got held up and couldn't come immediately home. Oh. So she took a picture of the ice cream to show me that it wasn't completely ruined.
You're probably pissed because now you exposed it to the elements.
She says, "Oh, I committed a cardinal sin. I bought ice cream and I am not going straight home. I'm going to pick up Andrew and Nikos from school," which is insane. Their school is like in the other direction.
Yeah.
And then she's got to take Nikos home.
I'm surprised you two are still married.
I mean, we've been married over 20. What year is it? 24?
24.
22 years.
Yeah,
if this had happened,
you guys have been married the same amount of time Libby and I have.
If this had happened in the first 10 years, we wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't stand for that.
Many, many times on this podcast, I've told stories about how people screw up my name. It's either at Chick-fil-A or there's the famous story about going to Spectrum to return a cable box. And the guy called me Darfin. When I took Jacob to get his driver's license, the people call me Darin. So it's just, I'm doomed. I'm destined to live this life where people just don't know how to say, spell, or pronounce my name. Well, when I was in Texas, before I went to see St. Paul and the Broken Bones, there was a place where you could get burgers, okay? And barbecue. And so I was hungry, and the line was insane, but I'm like, well, I've got to eat. So I'm in line waiting to get a burger, and I waited and waited and waited. I finally get up to the front. This old guy comes up there with his pad of paper, and he says, "What's your name?" And I said, "Darin." And he's starting to write, and for the first time in a long time, he looks at me, and he says, "Is it D-A-R-R?" I'm like, "No, D-A." I said D-A-R-I-N. He goes, oh, okay, D-A-R-I-N. And he goes, I didn't want to misspell it. I'm like, thank you. That wasn't hard. So he asked me how to spell my name. He spelled it, took my order. Okay, so I'm waiting for like 10 minutes to get my order. Finally, my order's ready, and a woman comes out, and she looks at the pad, and she looks up. She looks at the pad, looks up. She looks at the pad again. And I just looked at her and said, "Is that for Darin?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah, how did you know?" And I said, Just a wild guess.
What's wrong with you people?
And she says, yeah, Stan misspelled your name.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Even when they get it right, they get it wrong.
Yeah.
She was just, there's no way he could have gotten this guy's name right.
So I do have a name story to add on.
Okay.
I never have a name story.
Oh, okay.
Odal. Nobody, when you read it, nobody knows. Oddly, oodle, iddle, addle.
Seriously?
Yes. But it hasn't happened in a long time.
Uh-huh.
And then Charlie he kept getting the ball. It was one of his games a few weeks ago. And we noticed that the announcer said, and Charlie, long pause, got a gain of 2 yards. And then Bess looked at me and she's like, they can't say his name.
Right.
And I'm like, it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's unbelievable. And I was like, really? I've been living with this name for almost 50 years. I'm surprised it's taken this long for something like that to happen here.
Yeah.
And then again, he gets the ball. Charlie got the ball again.
Oh,
and
Charlie.
Like, Charlie. Finally,
hey, let's give it up for Charlie.
Finally, Charlie, this is a game he kept getting the ball and getting gains. So the guy said, we're just going to call him Charlie O over the loudspeaker. And I'm like, right.
Really?
And she's like, Odal. How? And then all the other parents are looking at us and laughing like, what are you? I mean, it's Odal. It's not that. It's how do you not say that? How do you not know that name?
Right. We're just going to call him Charlie O.
Yeah. But I was excited because I'm like, I finally have a story to go along with Darin's name.
My grandfather, his name was Bill Oberle. Oberle.
Okay.
And we were at a place one time where they had to read his name.
I would call that O'Burl.
They called him Bill O'Burl. And boy, was Nana pissed. And she's like, how dare they call him Bill O'Burl?
I have a rant to go on about my hometown.
Okay.
Proctorville.
Right.
When I was growing up, before 5th grade, Proctorville is on one side of the river, the Ohio River. Mm-hmm. On the other side of the Ohio River is Huntington, West Virginia.
Is that where Don Knotts is from?
No, he's from Morgantown.
Okay.
Movie buffs recognize Huntington, West Virginia from We Are Marshall. Marshall University is there.
Right.
And the movie opens up with, in whatever, there's a river. On that river, there's a thing. On the thing, there's a stuff and whatever. But
deep.
Just the very beginning of the movie.
River,
it's
there's
like,
a thing.
I'm rolling, like whenever we watch that movie, for like the first 30 seconds, my eyes are rolling in the back of my head. Just say the school is there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, to get to Huntington from Proctorville, which is what you want to do because there's nothing in Proctorville.
Right.
There's a couple of pigs. And at the time, there's a couple of pigs and a gas station in high school. If anything you wanted was over there in Huntington.
Right.
But you had to drive all the way down to Chesapeake, cross the bridge, and then drive all the way back up. It was about a half-hour trip to get anywhere over in Huntington. So when I was in 5th grade, they built a bridge from Proctorville directly to another part of Huntington.
Okay.
So you could get over there in like 5 minutes. It was a big deal.
Holy, yeah.
They shut down the town for a day, and everyone was allowed to walk across the bridge.
They had Bridge Day.
They did. They literally did.
Is that what it's called?
No. Okay. I don't remember what it was called. I was in 5th grade. But I do remember there were parades.
You didn't know what things were called in 5th grade?
I barely knew my own name in 5th grade. But they had parades going across the bridge.
Mommy, what is that? That's a bridge, honey.
We didn't have school that day. We got to walk across the bridge. I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
In Lebanon, Virginia, when they put the McDonald's in there, they had 2 police officers, one directing traffic in and one letting traffic out. Yeah. And there was a ribbon cutting. It was a thing.
So I enjoy...
Small town lore.
You know how it is in the town you grew up. You know all the back roads and all the ways, ins and outs and stuff.
Yes.
So I just visited my mom like a weekend or 2 ago. Mm-hmm. And we will go over into Huntington and then just for funs and giggles, go on the other bridge and back through Chesapeake because it takes us by, there's where I used to get my hair cut.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a little walk down memory lane.
We burned his house down.
I did tell that story. Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's a callback. No, there was okay, I'll tell that story after this one.
Wait. What?
Hold on.
No, you didn't.
I haven't told that story? You're not doing a callback?
No.
All right.
I'm just pulling out of the air. I'm just making stuff up.
We might have 2 episodes tonight. So, anyway, it's not that big of a trip to go down to the other bridge and come back down. Right?
Yeah.
So, This week, or the past 2 weeks, they've been having construction on that bridge. And I've joined a Proctorville group. And it's every 5 minutes, there's somebody bitching that they have to wait a few extra minutes or the bridge is shut down for a few minutes. And now there's this big clamor to build another bridge. And I'm like, you don't need another bridge.
No.
You've got 2 right now, which is one more than you really need.
Right.
So if one shuts down, if one falls into the river, you still got the other one. It takes you an extra few minutes to get over there.
Yeah.
Stop complaining about your bridge. What?
Yeah.
So you want to get to the house burning down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So for the record, I was just making it up.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, oh, yeah, did I tell you this? No.
Okay.
So now, please.
You ever read It by Stephen King?
No.
Yeah, but
you know, I have.
Okay.
Anytime you ask the question, have you read blank? 99% of the time, the answer is no.
on the surface, it is about a clown that turns into a
Lives in the
spider
sewer,
and eats
yeah.
kids or whatever.
Yeah.
But the real
stupid
the
book.
real villain of the book is the town of Derry, and they keep going through history and all these things that happen in the town. So this is going to feel like one of those stories.
Okay.
And I don't know how true this story is. I think it's true because I remember seeing the burning husk of this house. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change the names of people to protect the the innocent. There's a curve near where you go into the neighborhood where my mom lives. And there was a house that was on that curve. It was near a market. Okay. And they had chickens. They had like animals and stuff out there. It was just this family lived there.
Right.
And just one day that house was gone. And it was just a pile of smoldering whatever. And I remember asking, and I can't remember who was in the car with me when I was asking this. But I'm like, what happened to the house? Oh, they got tired of that house and they just burned it down. Nonchalantly.
Oh.
Just
Okay.
like, so for a while as a kid, I thought that's what you do. Tired of the place you're in, you just burn it down.
You just Gilbert grape
I'm tired of all these damn chickens.
Yeah.
I'm just going to torch this thing. And I asked
I was
around.
afraid that you burned it down.
No, I didn't burn the house
I was like, my
down.
Lord.
No.
It's like, do you need our attorney
No,
to be
but
present
so
before you make
for
this confession?
what I understand is the townsfolk that lived around there got tired of this house because it was an eyesore and then just decided to torch it.
You can't do that.
You can't.
I mean, somebody still owned it, right? Or was it vacant?
One would think. I don't know. I was a kid when this happened.
If it was vacant, then maybe.
I don't think it was vacant. I think there were at least a couple of chickens that lived there.
Well, yeah, but chickens don't own houses, Mike. Come on. We've been through this.
Yeah.
100 times.
Yeah.
Chickens don't own houses.
Ever tell the dead Fred story?
No.
About the horse named Fred that got a boner and died?
Go ahead.
You tell this story?
Yeah. Finally, we've got a reason for people to stay the entire podcast.
Okay. All right. This is not my story. I was told this story by a very close friend.
This is Fred the horse who got a boner and died.
Well, don't give it away.
Okay.
So
Well, you said that.
Anyway, there's an area in our town, not our town, in this town I'm speaking of, called Tick Ridge.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tick Ridge.
Tick Ridge.
And there was like a spiral of, what are those called? Mobile homes?
Yeah.
Off Tick Ridge.
Okay.
And you could see them. And there was a family down there.
A trailer park.
A trailer, kind of.
Yeah.
But kind of. Yeah. That's a nice way of putting it.
Okay.
So me and my friend were going down there to deliver.
My friend and I.
Would deliver some food and stuff for a Thanksgiving
English
deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went in and there was a young girl, standing on a stool, stirring a pot. She didn't look like she was old enough to be maybe, yeah, she was old enough to be doing that, but there was
Do you
a
have
beer.
to be old enough to stir a pot?
Well, you need to be old enough to
Proctorville?
drink a beer. There was
Okay.
a beer right next to it. And I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if that was her
Hey,
beer
lady, you
or
can't be
not.
stirring pots at this age.
And there was a table with a turkey on it. And there were kids running through the living room where the turkey was, out the back, into a shed, around the shed, back into the front door of the trailer, and just this like cavalcade of kids. All right.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I told this story. It's been about 20 years since I've told this story, so I'm going to remember things as I go.
Okay.
I do remember one of the kids picked up the ashtray. This ashtray was epic. This was a legendary ashtray. It was so full of ashes and cigarette butts. It was like one of those that, remember the old time, like barber shops had those big ashtrays.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was one of those.
Was it made of glass or was it like?
It was like a bronze, like a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a wire thing holding it.
Yes.
Okay.
Ashtray.
Perfectly rounded mound. One of the kids grabbed that, threw it across the room.
Of course.
The ashes, it was like fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Covered the turkey.
Oh my God.
The lady of the house, with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, took her bare hand I was present, over the turkey, and was like, it's still good. And I remember looking at my friend. I remember we were delivering a Christmas tree. I remember looking at her and saying, oh.
Hell no.
Boy.
Yeah, no.
Meanwhile, kids are going out into the shed. We found out.
Doing things you do in the shed.
And we got the hell out of there.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I don't know what's going on in this house. I had a conversation. Oh, yeah, no. They had the front window of the living room was plastic sheeting.
Uh-huh.
Turns out the guy had taken an axe to the window.
Oh.
For some reason.
Oh, yeah.
And there was also
could be any reason to
there
do
was
that.
also a couch with an interesting stain outside the trailer.
Yes.
On the other side of this broken glass.
Uh-huh. It gives a new definition to the word lawn furniture.
Yeah, so I made the mistake of asking what was in the shed, and they said, one of the kids yelled out, Fred! I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So we leave.
Uh-huh.
About a week later, my friend calls me, and she said, I've got the story on Fred and what was happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Fred was a horse.
Okay.
They lived in a trailer park. Their yard was the size of the room that we're currently in.
Okay.
And they had a horse.
Plenty of room to turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the statute of limitations on this story is over, so I'm comfortable telling it.
Sure.
The horse one day got a boner, an erection.
Hello.
A hard-on.
Yeah.
A Woody.
A Woody.
A Stiffy.
Yeah.
A Standing Hampton.
Didn't know what to do with it, and it wouldn't go down.
Oh.
And it got infected.
Oh.
And the infection killed the horse.
Oh.
And the horse laid down on the couch in front of the trailer and passed. Okay?
It laid on the couch?
On the couch.
The horse is like, I gotta sit down.
Yeah. And he died on the couch. This family had a well
Uh-huh.
in their backyard where the horse was
Uh-huh.
that they got their water from. And they buried the horse on the couch
No.
in their backyard
No.
where they have a well.
No.
Yeah. So my friend's mother had visited them
Jesus.
and noticed this huge horse-sized mound near their well.
Right. And also, there's an additional mound.
And said, what, you guys putting in a garden?
The horse had an erection. Folks.
And they said that, no, the horse, Fred, died.
Uh-huh.
And they buried him there. And she's like, you can't bury a horse next to your well.
Right.
So they exhumed Fred.
Oh, my God. And
the couch. They put Fred in the shed behind the trailer. And they were like, well, it's a perfectly good couch. They put the couch right back out in front of the trailer.
No.
Yes. I told myself for decades now, literally, that the kids were just going out and looking at Fred and not playing with him because they kept running through and touching everything.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know for sure what they were doing. But that's the dead Fred story. And I remember the first time I told that story was to my roommates. I've talked about Neil and Kim that I were my roommates back then.
Uh-huh.
We went out to the BW3s. I told the story on this podcast about going to Star Wars Episode 1.
Yes. The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would go to
The
BW3s.
Drunken Yoda,
yeah.
and the Dr. Pepper bite.
So it was one of those trips out there. I had to relay this story. I didn't believe it myself. And I was there for a good portion of it. I will tell you this. I don't believe it now, but I know it's true. At least the couch, I saw the couch.
Uh-huh.
A kid said they were playing with Fred. I watched the ashes go across the turkey and the lady wipe them off. And the dude told me what happened to his window. I know those parts are true.
Uh-huh.
So with all that I saw and the stain on the couch, and I believe the story. Are you sure I've never told this story?
I'd like to think I would remember the story of a horse that died because of an erection.
When I told it before, it used to be really, really good. I can't tell it like I did because Kim, when a roommate, she would like when we would all go out, she'd be like, "Tell the dead Fred." We'd get hammered. She'd be like, "Tell the dead Fred story," and I'd tell the story to
My
everyone's
Lord,
enjoyment.
That beats any story that I have from all the years that I lived growing up in Belfast, Virginia.
Dude, I'm
I
telling
got
you, man.
nothing. I mean,
there's stories in the hills of Proctorville.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, there's no point going on. Nothing we say is going to be better than that. So we're going to wrap this one up. We want to thank you for listening. If you enjoy this podcast, we hope you tell your friends about it. We hope you go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and we hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Have fun with this one.
Oh,
You have like a
I'm
moral
not-
quandary. Do
I'm
I put this in? Does this
I'm
become
not
bonus?
editing out one single word of this.
I'm sorry.
An infected erection.
Boner got infected. And we're going to go live on the Schwartz.
May the Schwartz be with you.
I think I'm going to start putting like really weird names that everyone knows to see if they mispronounce them, like Napoleon or Rumpelstiltskin.
You did? I'm sorry, you did what?
Nothing. I bored myself saying it. Rodney Dangerfield. Of what? I have no idea.
I'll tell you. We're literally pulling out from where the bus... We are literally pulling out from where the bus is parked and the driver... We are literally...
So our fact checkers messaged me during that bit.
Okay.
1.609 kilometers to a mile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. What's the other guy's name? It's John something.
Steve
Johnson?
Steve
Or
Karnacki?
John Stevenson?
John
Karnacki?
Davidson.
John Davidson? Is that his name?
No, that's the host
Okay.
of Tic-Tac-Toe. No, the host of the Hollywood Squares.
Okay.
I want to go shopping on Christmas Eve with all the crazy people. It's like, does Mom like hammers? She needs a hammer, right? I can buy her a hammer? I thought stallion was a type of horse, a breed of horse.
Well, it is a
I didn't know it was a male horse.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to these guys, these people who raise horses for a living, and I'm like, so you guys get a lot of stallions? Like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And they were breeding the horses.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 of them. And I'm standing there like, so which one's the stallion?
Okay.
And the look on these guys, and this stupid kid, the stupidest kid in the world, who had no idea that the stallion's the boy horse who inserts his erection into the female horse.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's yeah. I
was a kid. I didn't know.
I
didn't know. Why would you know that a stallion means male horse?
I tell you, there's a few pieces of art that I think are critical to the human race.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
and the Muppets.
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on.
name anything that tops either one of those. They don't even top one another, because if I'm watching Lord of the Rings and you say, do you want to watch the Muppets? I'd be like, yeah. And if I'm watching the Muppets and you say, let's watch Lord of the Rings, I'd be yeah. If they made Lord of the Rings with the Muppets,
Have you not seen?
oh no, have they?
Oh, it's horrible. Peter Jackson did Meet the Feebles.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Okay,
Is that okay?
It's adult-sized Muppet characters who do drugs and kill, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
don't mix those two.
I don't like non-Muppet puppets. I think non-Muppet puppets kind of blow.
Right. Yeah.
Usually whenever I see a puppet that I enjoy, even if I didn't know that it was a Henson puppet, I'll find out later that it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's an awesome puppet. And it's like, it's Jim Henson joint.
Yeah. It's
Here's the barking in the dirt and the puppy in the corn.